Mbote Tulenzo Lampangi, Manfo Focio Felicien over here from DITC, Disruptive IT, um, a DIA co-op, and also in strong partnership with WADA, spreading Web3 technology through Africa. So this is up stepping into our fourth module, which is really about the emergent as well as functional characteristic of distributed ledger technologies. Now, we are definitely talked about some of these points, so we'll run through them and we'll focus on the three that I think are essential to what we will be learning this evening. So the first one, well, first of all, I did classify them in two groups. On the left hand side here, we have functional characteristic, which is really what we expect, how we expect the blockchain to work, you know. Um, on the right hand side, we have emergent characteristic, which are kind of like, what you get for free as a consequence of those on the left, the functional ones. So the first one in the list is decentralized. That we talked lengthy about this. Any distributed ledger technology should be decentralized. We mentioned the need of a consensus, which is the mechanism through which transactions are, added or gathered into whatever structure the DLT decides to use. Blocks in the case of a blockchain, and other things in the case of other distributed ledger technology models structures. Immutability, we'll spend some great time on it. Let's skip it for now. Distributed, it's a characteristic that might seem similar to decentralization, but we definitely did point out the difference between those two in our previous modules. Security is a characteristic that is expected very often. These transactions that happen within this network, DLTs networks, monetary transaction or transaction for different kind of assets, and security must be one of the highest priority. Those are what we call functional characteristic. Now let's move on to emergent characteristic. So machine trust, again, we describe how the consensus is run, especially in the case of proof of work consensus-based algorithms. All the trust is put into the machine to validate transactions, and with some mathematical tools as well. That's what we call machine trust. But ultimately, we have trust in the system. Auditability is one that we will spend a great deal of time talking about. So we'll skip it for now. Transparency, the fact that we have all the data available and constructed in such a way that you cannot tamper with, brings some level of transparency, because we can keep it open to whoever wants to access it to make up his own conclusion or mind, depending on the context. Anonymity, I always get this one wrong, is really about making sure that people are still are not giving up their whole privacies. Technically, it's kind of strange because you are dealing with public keys and private keys. Your public key, as its name indicate, is public, and the transaction you make can be, tied back to your key. But to some degree, there's anonymity because we don't know for sure who is behind the transaction. And lastly, we have programmability, which is another one we will talk lengthily about. So that concludes this first part of our fourth module, which is going through this um, characteristic, both functional and emergent. See you in the next subsession, which is uh, talking specifically about immutability, auditability, and programmability.